Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us today. We'll get started here in just a minute. So feel free to get settled in, maybe grab a drink. The question box is open, so feel free to jump in, share your questions, say hello, let us know where you're calling in from. Hopefully it's warmer than it is out here in the Northeast, but we'll be right back in just a minute. All right, my friends, it is the top of the hour, so we'll go ahead and get started here in just a moment. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. We are recording this webinar. We know it's high season, so if you do have to step away, take a call, meet with a client, do whatever you need to do, you can always come back to the recording of this webinar and access many other webinar and educational resources on europeexpress.com. The question box is open, so any of your burning questions about Europe Express, about honeymoon travel, Sarah's expertise, dump those in the questions box, and we will have definitely a lively Q&A session at the tail end of this webinar. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Here at Europe Express, it is our mission to be your trusted Europe travel partner, and we are driven to create tailor-made, unforgettable, affordable, personalized vacations for your clients, easing that stress of piecing together itineraries for you and making you look like a rock star to your clients. With over 30 years of experience selling European travel, we have that in-depth knowledge and expertise of everything this beautiful part of the world has to offer, and we are here to share it with you today. So to get started, we'll share a little bit about who we are. If you're new to us at Europe Express or new to selling Europe FIT, we'll give you a little introduction and background about us and the benefits of traveling custom. And then I'll hand the mic over to our Europe specialist, Sarah, who will take us through some of the travel trends that she's seeing from her clients and the bookings that she's making, as well as share some inspiration and selling tips around all things honeymoon and romance travel. We'll then talk about some of the resources that we have available to you at Europe Express. That's both for selling honeymoon travel or just selling Europe FIT in general. And then we will open it up to some Q&A at the end. So quick reminder again, any of your questions, you don't have to wait till the end, throw them all in the questions tab and we'll make sure that your questions get answered. First and foremost, my name is Kelsey Austin. I'm happy to be with you all today. I'm the Partner Marketing Manager here at Europe Express, where I get to share a lot of educational content with you. I help orchestrate our familiarization tours and work with your consortia and host headquarters on all things digital marketing from Europe Express. So without further ado, let's introduce you to who we are at Europe Express. We are your partner in European travel, both for custom FIT and group vacations. Our expertise and our passion is all about helping you, our travel advisor partners, build custom vacations to connect your clients with the culture, the people, the history, the natural beauty, and of course, the food throughout Europe. I travel with my tummy. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think I'm the only one. We work exclusively with travel advisors, and we handle all elements of your client's itinerary, with our ultimate goal being to take the stress and the admin work out of it for you and helping you impress your clients with their perfect trip. And we do endeavor to be your one-stop shop for all things custom travel to Europe. You can see here all those different components that we can pull together into your client's dream trip. And if you're not familiar with us and all these components, what we do routinely host Introduction to Europe Express webinars where we do deep dives into all these different components. So highly recommend registering for that webinar. If you're really new to us or selling European travel, that's a great place to start. Now, as I mentioned, we are exclusive to travel advisors and have been since we got started way back in 1990. There's no consumer side to our business. We are all yours and dedicated to your success as a travel professional. And we do fancy ourselves the Europe specialists. Europe is all we do. It's the only region we've sold since day one. And we call our reservations team Europe specialists because that's truly who they are. They've lived in Europe, studied in Europe, traveled extensively, go through routine training to develop their knowledge, and they really bring all of that passion and expertise to every single itinerary to make sure it's personal to your clients and ticks all of their boxes for their Europe trip. We also have a dedicated groups team. So we know that selling group travel is an entirely different animal to FIT. Those couples traveling versus, a big group of 30 or more is an entirely different game. So we do have a dedicated team where all they do is help you with those private groups. And we'll talk a little bit about what those requirements are a few slides down. We also hand select all of our products. We have a home base in Barcelona, Spain, with a team of product managers who have a specific country or region that they focus in, and they vet all of our hotels, our sightseeing vendors, our transfer partners to make sure that year over year, they're maintaining that high standard, high quality that we know you expect and your clients expect as well. And last but not least, we do offer your clients and you in destination support 24/7. We know that emergencies, flight delays, train cancellations, they never happen according to US office hours. It always happens on weekends, late at night, super early in the morning. So you don't have to be on the receiving end of that phone call. Our team in Barcelona can pick up the phone 24/7. That's the only time where we would connect with your clients directly would be if there was a train cancellation or some unforeseen issue that popped up while they're traveling, and we can give your clients that support they need in real time. Now, even if you're new to Europe Express, you might be familiar with some of our sister brands. Europe Express is part of the Travelopia family of brands. Travelopia is based over in the UK, and they oversee brands in addition to Europe Express, Cork Expeditions, Enchanting Travels, TCS World Travel, Exodus, and many, many more. So we do have this wonderful backing and support from our parent company, Travelopia. Now, for many years, FIT travel has really been the bread and butter of Europe Express. So those fully independent travelers, your friends traveling, couples, groups of friends, anniversary trips, whatever the case may be, those FIT travelers are really, the bulk of what we do at Europe Express. And we offer a very wide variety of travel products. We really hang our hat on our competitive pricing and the convenience of being your one-stop shop and booking everything under one roof. Really makes it easy both for you to offer a fully customized travel experience for your clients, and on the back end for you, you'll get one commission check in US dollars. You're not chasing commission checks from different DMCs or in different currencies. That really streamlines all of the kind of administrative back end side to booking with us. When it comes to private group travel, the minimum for private groups is 15 or more travelers. So we go by the traveler minimum, not a room minimum. So if you do have maybe a big family reunion or a big group of friends, or maybe you do groups yourself and you've got some pre-post cruise groups going to Europe this year, you can absolutely tap the expertise of our team. They are walking, talking textbooks of knowledge when it comes to how to navigate Europe in larger groups, and they give all their personalized recommendations to make sure that your group not only gets to see what they want to see and do in Europe, but that it's a more streamlined experience. Now, for group travel, we do see a few different ways that agents are successful selling group travel. The most prominent one is pre-formed groups, where you've got your client list. They are dedicated to traveling maybe with you year after year, and it makes it a lot easier to build out that itinerary and get it confirmed. We do see a lot of advisors have success with affinity groups. Maybe you are part of a book club or a wine club, sports, a church group, anything where people are spending time together, odds are they'll probably want to travel together too. And then the third one is pre and post cruise stays. Both with FIT and with groups, we don't have a minimum night or minimum dollar spend. So that makes it really easy to work with us, even if your clients just need maybe a couple nights in Barcelona before their cruise takes off and a night in Athens at the tail end, or whatever the case may be. We can absolutely help expand upon what is already a great cruise itinerary and really flesh out that experience for your clients. Now, if you've been following along with Europe Express or worked with us for the last couple years, you may have seen our websites change. We've had all kinds of great updates. Our technology has grown leaps and bounds in the last year or so, but we remain focused on being a people business. That's really at the heart of what we do. We highly value the relationship that you have with Europe specialists like Sarah, who'll come on in just a minute, as well as your business development managers. We have a team based across the US who are there to help you grow your business, whether you're brand new to the industry or brand new to selling Europe, all the way to being an industry veteran where you just don't have the time to piece together those individual FIT itineraries. We are happy to support you in whatever way you need and help you grow your FIT Europe business. But we wouldn't get too far if it wasn't for our team in Barcelona. So this is part of our Barcelona team. Our product and our operations is headquartered over in Barcelona. So we really have our fingers on the pulse of everything going on in Europe. We can be quick to respond to any of those in-destination phone calls and requests that come through. So this team is really the heart of Europe Express and make sure that all of your clients' trips flow smoothly. Now, there's some great benefits to traveling to Europe on a customized vacation. The top one for me is that it's tailor-made for each client's personal interests and their budget considerations. My idea of a dream trip to Italy may look so different than yours or your clients. And so there's no cookie cutter copy paste tours with us at Europe Express. We really value that consultation with you and make sure that the itineraries we put together really speak to your clients' wants and needs. And this might seem like an obvious one, but the ability to depart any day is a great benefit, especially if your clients are busy professionals. They're comparing their work schedules with the kids' soccer conference and all kinds of other, competing priorities. They may have a very short window in which to have their trip to Europe, and the ability to really maximize their time on vacation instead of trying to kind of force in a trip with a guided vacations company or a cruise line, this doesn't offer as much flexibility as a custom vacation does. Custom travel also allows for really immersive exploration. There are many places in Europe that are well worth a visit that large coach tours or cruises just simply can't access. Quaint villages with streets that are too narrow for a bus to get through, or they're far away from the typical river cruise or ocean cruise routes of Europe. They're absolutely worth your time and effort to get there, and it's a lot easier to make that happen on a custom vacation, and you kind of feel like you have the place to yourself that way too. And traveling custom is also a really sustainable and culturally enriching way to experience Europe. We put a lot of focus on contracting with locally owned hotels and sightseeing partners, which really helps keep tourism dollars benefiting the local communities. And traveling custom, if it's just you and a group of friends or you and your partner, it's much easier to have those authentic, culturally rich experiences, traveling in a smaller group. All right, now we all have noticed that there are some really popular kind of styles of travel requests that we're getting from our advisors over and over again that fit a few different travel styles. Pre and post cruise, especially this time of year, is a really big one. If you are a cruise seller, you can absolutely still work with us. We can help you with those pre and post cruise stays. I was just recently in Prague myself, and we went from Prague down to Vienna where the river cruise started, and it was so seamless. It was great to be able to see another city, another country, tick that off my list before heading down to Vienna for a river cruise. We've also seen a big uptick in film location travel. So this is a great way for someone who is a huge fan of Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Sound of Music, whatever the case may be, to connect a little bit more intimately with that movie or TV show that they love. A good rule of thumb is if Netflix goes there, we probably will be too. Now, for those agents who sell a lot of Disneyland, maybe your clients have done the parks in America, they've done the cruise, they've ticked a lot of the Disney boxes. How about offering them a vacation to Disneyland Paris? It's such a wonderful experience, and we could book in those tickets with other experiences in Paris or other destinations within France. And it's a really cool offering for those clients who want to experience Disney again and again. And of course, Europe is ideal for those beach and spa getaways. If you want to just drop and flop on a beach, there are some incredible places to do that, like Greece and Croatia has gotten really popular, all kinds of amazing destinations. Now, all things culinary, wine and beer has become super popular at Europe Express, and we have really expanded our portfolio to include some awesome hands-on culinary experiences like cooking classes, wine tasting from a sommelier, all kinds of tapas crawls, things like that, to really connect clients with the heart of the culture, which I think food is a great way to start. Europe is, of course, a mecca for art, culture, and history, and we could offer clients more than just the routine museum visit or walking tour. We do have skip the line passes for many of the major museums across Europe, and more in-depth, unique walking tour experiences like following the footsteps of Gaudi in Spain, seeing the bunker where Churchill operated from in London. There's some really unique ways to kind of engage with history in Europe that we can offer. Of course, family and multi-generational travel is a biggie for us. I know it can be tricky to find the right hotels for a family. There's not as many large hotel rooms compared to what's standardized here in America. So if you do have families or multi-gen looking to go to Europe, definitely let us know, and we could start that search based on those hotel room types, make sure that it's going to adequately accommodate what your clients are looking for. And last but certainly not least, what we're here to talk about today is all things romance and honeymoon. I'm going to be taking diligent notes. I'm actually planning my own honeymoon, and my fiance knows that he has no say in the matter. So I will hand the mic over to Sarah, and we will start diving into all things honeymoon. Sarah, take it away.
Thank you, Kelsey. That was an amazing overview of Europe Express, and I appreciate the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Sara Sturek. I am a Europe specialist here at Europe Express. I have been here for almost over a year. I have been to 25 plus countries. Majority of them have been in Europe. And I also come from a background of event planning and wedding planning. I actually have planned some elopements and other weddings across the seas. So I love romance. I love planning honeymoons, and I'm very much always have my finger on the pulse of the current romance travel trends. So we're going to dive in. I'm going to talk about 3 travel trends, and then we'll talk about some honeymoon inspiration, perhaps for yourself, for your clients. I will give you some tips and tricks of, planning a fabulous customized trip for your clients. So diving into the first travel trend that I have been noticing with my own clients and just in my reading is about striking a balance. I believe gone are the days of clients looking only for R&R. Also gone are the days, I think, of clients having a jam-packed itinerary where you feel like you need a vacation or a honeymoon after your vacation and honeymoon. So the first travel trend, I would say, is striking a balance between relaxation and adventure. Here at Europe Express, we can customize trips. We can build in free days where clients are on their own to explore the cities. They don't have to be anywhere at any certain time. And we also have amazing tour inventories in each of the countries that we sell to build in those days of adventure. And that balance, again, is extremely customizable and completely up to your clients. For travel trend number 2, it has become for some of our younger clients. I am a part of the older end of Gen Z, but Gen Z are out and about. They are getting married. They're going on honeymoons. People are having makeup moons from COVID. I'm sure many people know about that as well, but it's become less about accommodations and more about what I call edu-vacation. So basically traveling on a honeymoon to learn something new. A lot of clients that I have been working with recently often will be studying the language of the country of what they speak. They will be either looking about a film location or the history or perhaps about family heritage. So honeymooners nowadays are not only looking for just going to an island and relaxing. A lot of honeymooners who are choosing Europe in the first place are truly dreaming of a more well thought out and intentional travel experience where perhaps they can learn something new about themselves or something new about a new culture. A quick example is I recently planned a honeymoon for Ireland for this couple, and they both were of Irish descent. And I had chose a tour for them where we offer a private consultation with a genealogist to discuss, their family tree and their ancestry, and where else to visit within the countryside, tracking names, and that ended up being the true highlight of their honeymoon. And so, if you do have clients who are looking for that educational, cultural immersion, please tell your travel your Europe specialists like myself, and we will plan tours that will meet their needs and really exceed them and exceed their expectations. For our third travel trend, I kind of looped in perhaps two seemingly unrelated ideas about star chasing and railroad wonders. However, what I would group these into is that they are based on an experience or an event. A lot of honeymooners nowadays are using TikTok and social media to figure out where everything's happening, where are the natural phenomenon happening, and when. What's a really cool, transportation experience. And thinking about Iceland, Finland, and Norway, those are really unique honeymoon destinations for clients to, for example, go see the Northern Lights. As well as clients who are looking to have this once in a lifetime experience on maybe a very famous train that they saw on TikTok, right? You can, I myself, I could be stuck on Instagram and TikTok reels for hours. You're living vicariously through, travel influencers or, friends or family. But we sell a lot of these things at Europe Express. For example, the Bernina Express or the Glacier Express. There's even a chocolate train, which I wish I had done when I was in Switzerland. We also have the Jacobite steam train in Scotland and the Isle of Man steam railway. And of course, we're always looking to expand and look for new ideas. So as a travel agent, if you're noticing, hey, my clients are looking to go on this, on this train experience, do you guys sell this? Even if we don't, we're more than happy to talk to our product team and see, can we make this a thing? That's what happened with the Jacobite steam train. We were really on the pulse of the trends. Everyone was asking for it. So we were able to work with the supplier and get it for our clients. And now it's one of our top selling tours in Scotland. So keep all of that in mind. Those are three trends that I really hope that help, you impress your clients, especially with our younger honeymooners, to relate to them more with qualifying as well. And diving into that, we're going to go into some honeymoon inspiration and selling tips. So for my first selling tip, this is based off just my experience, is encouraging your clients to go based in off-season travel. So exploring Europe, for example, a country like Greece, which is super popular all the time. It doesn't need to sell itself. Encouraging your clients who want to go there, perhaps in the shoulder season, such as April or October. It will be fewer crowds, it will be, better for their budget, and they probably can extend their honeymoon even longer or explore other islands compared to being on a very strict timeline. Now, for our next one is booking early. Now, when is their big day? When are they getting married? Do they want to go immediately after their wedding ceremony, or do they want to wait a month or two? Or perhaps do they want to wait for, maybe there's a Chelsea FC match and, the groom really wants to go to that, or they want to go see the Northern Lights and they want to base their honeymoon off of that. The more information and details you can gather from your clients and tell a Europe specialist like myself, then we can let you know what is the best time to book. what are the best deals. Our systems, we scan the best deals, we work with live rates. We are always trying to get the best deal for your client, and often that will come with booking early. Which leads me into my most important point under booking early is also depositing early. The sooner you deposit, the sooner we can lock in those dates and times, and it will allow your client to save hundreds of dollars. And now on to day tripping. Day tripping is a really fun way to travel. I encourage a lot of people to do this. I have done it myself. What I mean by day tripping is figuring out what perhaps is maybe the most affordable and essentially located home base for your clients to stay in, and then how can we expand upon that. So for example, staying in Florence is an excellent home base to explore the Tuscan region, to go to Cinque Terre. A lot of clients are not really comfortable traveling via rental car. They don't want to drive in a foreign country. We completely understand that, and that's why we have so many tours that we offer in a place like Florence, so they can go for just the day. They don't have to pay for accommodations in that city. They don't have to worry about really not knowing what they're looking at. They're going to have that guide and that one-on-one time. So day tripping is always an amazing way to save money, especially on a honeymoon, and get to go see more in a limited time frame. And you don't have to feel like you're packing and unpacking and super on the go. And again, it does allow you to connect with the culture, locals in different neighboring cities and towns, and really going off the beaten path. My next tip is about optimizing transportation, which kind of at first sounds boring, but I am always looking for new ways to make travel at any part, especially those travel days sound exciting. I will say from personal experience, some of my, most fun memories traveling is on those travel days where, oh my God, are we going to make it to the airport in time? Or, oh my God, is this late? It's a real bonding experience for friends and families. And even on your honeymoon, it can be. Like I said, some of those unexpected moments are the ones you remember the most. And how can you as a travel agent sell transportation to your clients in Europe in a way that makes transportation part of the adventure? So for example, a lot of clients want to get from point A to point B, right? We're going to get them there. It's going to happen no matter what, but how do they want to travel? If they want to just get there quickly, usually an intra-European flight is the quickest way. However, are they looking to go by train? Train is a super popular route, method of transportation in Europe, especially, for example, Italy, which is one of our major sellers. But perhaps, there's a specific train route they want to go. Like I mentioned about some of those specialty rails that we offer, that can make a travel day feel like you're actually going on a tour, or really it becomes part of the main highlights of the trip. Same thing with ferries. So for example, we only sell ferries at this time in Greece. However, we offer standard ferries. We offer high-speed ferries. Now they're usually 2 hours. It's a gorgeous way to see some of the Greek islands, take amazing, selfies and Instagram moments. And we even offer business class on our high-speed ferries as well. So for a little bit more of your luxurious clients, same thing for a honeymoon, you can do work on a ferry. Those are really unique ways to kind of, travel when you're in Europe and not have to feel like you lost a day just getting from point A to point B. It can really become part of the larger experience. So always ask your clients, how would they like to travel? Are they open to taking a long train ride? Do they want to be on a train all day? Because you can meet people that way. And it can be a cool way to see, the countryside. Or do they just want to take a flight? No problem. We can get them transfers to and from the airport to help with their luggage, and they don't have to worry. Another tip that I have, which really sums up, is going non-traditional. And we'll dive into that in just a second, but thinking of when you're qualifying with your clients, where else would these clients maybe like to go? Maybe they have in mind, they want to do Italy and Greece. And there's no problem with that, right? We all want to go to Italy and Greece, but perhaps they really like hiking, or they really like adventure. What I'm going to show you in just a minute is how to use Europe Express to your advantage. and actually sell some other countries. Even if you're not familiar with it, you have a Europe specialist like myself who is happy to educate you and show you where our resources are to tell you about a country like Iceland or Croatia, because maybe those honeymooners would actually have an even better time going to a different country that they may not have thought of before. But we sell and we have all of the resources for you, and it will create a once in a lifetime experience. So always feel free to start the conversation with qualifying your clients with our itineraries. And our first place that I want to mention is Iceland. So over the last few years, I went to Iceland in 2022. The COVID was still kind of just ending. And I have a recent blog post about Iceland as well. And Iceland has become is really an up and coming destination for honeymooners. Several of my friends who are in their mid to late 20s, they're heading to Iceland. They're getting engaged in Iceland. Some of them are eloping in Iceland. It's because Iceland has really everything. It has those moments for relaxation, such as going to the Blue Lagoon or the Sky Lagoon at the spa. I highly recommend it. I can't wait to get back there. And it also has really fun moments for adventure, such as going to the black sand beaches or going to go see waterfalls or the northern lights on a boat or a Jeep tour. So Iceland is great for honeymooners who are perhaps going in the shoulder seasons when it's a little bit cheaper to go. Plus, you can still go see the northern lights. That's become very popular. And also Iceland is really versatile. So they can go in the summer, depending on when their wedding is. They can also go in the wintertime and have like a winter getaway honeymoon. And finally, Reykjavik itself is a really vibrant and happening, youthful city. There is a lot to do. There's a lot of culture, to go see a music show, to go see theater. There's some really fun, cuisines that you can try in Iceland. So I do highly recommend it. And I hope everyone kind of, keeps it in the back of their mind when they're talking to honeymooners about where they would want to travel for their honeymoon. My next suggestion is one of my all-time favorite countries is Portugal. Portugal is absolutely stunning, and it is really great it's very wallet friendly. You can go for a long time and not feel like, where did all my money go? Portugal really is, with food, wine, and tours, budget friendly. And it is an amazing country to explore within a time span of 1 to 2 weeks. So for example, if they have, a limited time frame, they could go for 1 week just to Lisbon, and they could do what I've recommended, such as day tripping to Sintra's Pina Palace. They can go ahead and even travel to the Algarve. They can travel to Porto for the day. Or if they want, I highly recommend clients renting a car and taking anywhere between 7 to 12 days and driving around Portugal. Comporta is a place we have accommodations in it. I'm from Long Island, I'm from New York, and it very much reminds me of the Hamptons, but it is inexpensive and it is just as stunning, and it's only 2 hours south of Lisbon. So Lisbon, Comporta, the Algarve, Porto, you could really do an entire country, not just one city, in the time span of a week. And it is a really fun trip for, any of the honeymooners. And then for Croatia, Croatia is another really fun destination, especially for wine lovers, just like in Portugal. For Croatia, you can also go island hopping here. Most people think of just Greece. But for Croatia, you can go island hopping. You can start in the north and fly into a city like Zagreb and work your way down to Split. You can even head to Hvar and then go all the way down to Dubrovnik, the walled city that is for all Game of Thrones lovers. It is, again, relatively inexpensive, excellent cuisine and wine, and we have so many tours there, especially for our more outdoorsy honeymooners. For example, Plitvice National Park, I had done this. It's just about an hour and a half drive from Split Airport. It's great to do right when you land or before you leave. It's in a gorgeous national park, and clients can do it on their own, especially for some. Croatia is a great place for some of our independent honeymooners who don't want to be stuck on a walking tour every day. Croatia is really, you can get a car and have a great self-driving 7-day itinerary. So with those three countries in mind, keep them in mind when you're qualifying them with your clients, and when they're looking for, a new honeymoon destination. They're going to be looking to you to say, hey, like what have you seen? What is kind of happening? Where can we go that's not, that's not cliche or hasn't been done before? And Iceland, Portugal, and Croatia are excellent destinations. Finally, some of our resources and recent enhancements. So from sample itineraries that we offer, this is an example of what our website looks like. You can click on each country and we will have anywhere between 2 to 5 itineraries in each country. They will be based on how many days and nights. They will include tours and transfers, as well as sightseeing and activities. You can browse by country or you can browse by activities. So if foodies, like Kelsey said, I am also a foodie and I travel with my stomach. So if they want to look for culinary tours only, you can go ahead and do that and then tell your clients, hey, I actually recommend France or Italy based off of how many culinary tours that we have there. So that's an excellent way to use our website to your advantage before you even talk to your Europe specialist. Use it every time you talk to your clients, because you will sound like you know exactly what you're talking about and your clients will be truly impressed.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Sarah. Don't go anywhere. We've got lots of burning questions coming through on the chat, but I did want to share some bits of recent news from here at Europe Express, things that kind of company-wide that has been a game changer for our advisors and for our travel specialists as well. We have continued to expand our options for 5-star hotels and private and small group experiences. So this is great news for honeymooners and those that sell honeymoons. Maybe your clients don't have the luxury budget end to end, but maybe they want to stay in a castle in Ireland for a couple nights before going home, or whatever the case may be. That option to mix and match hotel styles, sightseeing experiences, those we've really added on to your options to really personalize and kind of spoil your clients a little bit. And as Sarah suggested, we do have more sample itineraries that we've loaded on our website. We've pulled these right from our specialists and the itineraries that they've created for you. So we cherry pick some of those that we think are great as sample itineraries to help you start that conversation and get that consultation off the ground. We find that, clients might not know exactly what they're looking for, but they're probably going to be quick to identify what they're not looking for. So you can run through one of those sample itineraries. They might be able to kind of pick out some things they love, or maybe that doesn't really sound good to me. And that is a great way to start the conversation before you even call your Europe specialist and tag them in to start building that itinerary. We've also updated our quote documents. Now, this sounds really boring, and I promise it is not. We wanted to make our itineraries, those quote that you receive to share your clients, we want those to be an important selling tool for you. So these updated quote documents are really pretty. They've got imagery, they've got exciting explanations of the different destinations and experiences, so that you can really use that initial quote as a tool to sell your clients on the itinerary, to keep that excitement going, because sometimes there can be quite a few months in between the initial getting the trip booked and actually having them travel. So any kind of element like these quote documents that keeps them excited and engaged is definitely a win in our book. We've also expanded our product management team in the last few months as well, and this has been amazing in terms of getting us more deep dive, rich itineraries and new partnerships for some of our preferred hotels, sightseeing, even transfer partners. We now have gourmet transfers that we're loading on our website where clients can have like a foodie experience while they are en route from point A to point B. And those really immersive, culturally rich experiences, we've been able to really double down on those because we've got this larger product management team who can fixate on one specific country or region and make sure we're bringing you the best product options and services for your clients. And last but certainly not least, I wanted to flag that we have recently rolled out our brand new travel advisor reward program. It's called Passport to Perks, and you might be earning rewards already and didn't even know it. Any booking you have made that travels in the calendar year 2025 is earning you rewards. There's nothing you need to do to enroll. There's no paperwork or booking numbers that you need to keep track of. We're calculating it in real time for you. All you need to do is keep selling FIT Europe, and your rewards will keep on rolling in. Now, all of this is accessible on our website as well, but I did want to showcase the different tiers for Passport to Perks. So the initial tier, the ambassador status, is with 40K revenue in the bank. And we are seeing an average booking value between 10 and 12,000. So that's really 4 bookings, and you are already in part of the Passport to Perks ambassador group. And that does unlock eligibility for our FAM trips, as well as cashback and travel credit. And then those perks and those benefits just kind of keep on ticking up and rolling on the more you sell. If you're curious to learn more and see where your standing is, you can see this in real time anytime by logging in at europeexpress.com. So once you are logged into your account, hit that rewards tab that's like almost right in the middle, and that'll bring you to your personalized dashboard. It will show you exactly how many rewards you have in the bank and show you what you have pending as well. You can use those rewards once your client's trip has commenced, so you'll always see the cash you have available to you now, as well as what's pending. So bookings that have been made but haven't quite traveled yet. Now, if you're curious to learn more about Passport to Perks or want additional training, I highly recommend reaching out to your business development manager. We've got a great team based out across the states, and they are the boots on the ground, ready to help you kind of meet you where you are at in terms of starting your travel business and helping you elevate that, give you all the resources you need to work with Europe Express. So if you do have your phone handy and want to grab that QR code, that will bring you to a quick link page with a few handy resources right at your fingertips. One of those is a button to connect you with your BDM. You could search by state and make sure that you are getting through to the right person to help you out. So without further ado, we'll bring Sara back on and see what questions we have in the chat. So now is the time, folks. If you've got questions for a Europe specialist, now is the time to ask. Suzanne says, I'm meeting with clients soon for their honeymoon. They're looking for Slovenia and Portugal. That's super exciting. We love Slovenia.
Absolutely, that is so exciting. We can definitely do an itinerary going to Portugal and Slovenia for sure. A lot of people also pair Slovenia with Croatia. What we mentioned, they might want to consider that. Usually, I would say for that type of itinerary, for both of those countries, or even 3, maybe somewhere between 10 to 14 days. And having a budget, I never include airfare, let's say, in my budget, but between 10 to 15,000. That's very, very possible.
Awesome. Yeah, those are some of my favorite countries as well. So yeah, your honeymooners are very on point. All right, Sheila says, my son and his wife honeymooned in Iceland last November and they loved it. So there we go, straight from the traveler's mouths.
Awesome. Absolutely.
All right. Can we have a copy of the seminar? Yes, ma'am. All of our webinars, including this one, are recorded and you can access them anytime if you're logged in at europeexpress.com. There's a resources tab. You'll see webinars there and you can access it. Teresa asks, is there a single supplement? Which I think is more, so Teresa, that's more of a question for cruising or group tours. All of our bookings are, FIT, they're fully custom built. So pricing is going to be based on each individual. Sara, anything to add to that? Maybe when it comes to like sightseeing, if there's like a minimum group size or anything like that?
Yeah, for sightseeing, what's really great is we offer a range of tours. So we break them down into shared, small group, and private. Shared, you're looking at anywhere between 25 to 50 people. Small group, sometimes as small as 6 people, especially we have like extra small groups that go to the Louvre in Paris, for example. I'd say small group is between 6 to 20 people, and then private is fully private, and you get that one-on-one time with your guide.
Very good to know. And I would assume that also kind of translates to transfers as well. There's shared and private options too.
Yes, most of our transfers are going to be majority private. However, in some countries we do, like Iceland, we do have shared transfers. But you can always make a note to your Europe specialist. Some people, if they don't want to if they want to save some money and just opt for cabs, they can do that. Or if they want to make sure they have a private transfer. And of course, if any of your clients have any sort of mobility issues or, in terms of accessibility, please let your Europe specialist know, and we will make sure those tours and those transfers are wheelchair accessible, for example.
Awesome. Super good to know. So for advisors who are maybe new to Europe Express or new to selling honeymoon travel, do you have any recommendations in terms of kind of promoting themselves as a honeymoon specialist?
Absolutely. So, like I said, I am originally from New York. That's where I'm based. I have a lot of fellow Long Islander travel agents that I work with. And what I've seen, how they've become successful, and I'll tell you about one in particular. Her name is Maura. She had never sold Europe until this year. And she had used our suggested itineraries, one qualifying. She had used our modern travel documents when presenting. And so she was able to tell her clients, look, here's the route, right? The map automatically generates on our modern travel documents. So they get to see their route, they get to see the room that they're in, they can read the terms and conditions and all the details of the tours. So your clients can be so well informed to make the right decision for them. So now Maura has already booked like probably 10 trips with me in countries she hasn't even been to, because of all of the resources that we have had, as well as the conversations. And never feel scared to tell your travel agent, hey, I have no idea, let's say, about Slovenia. I don't even know where to start. That I love to hear that. And I know my coworkers do too, because that's where, us as Europe specialists, that's where we start. And we will help with your research. We will help with any sort of recommendations, especially for honeymooners. I would say start with the blog post that I have. I believe Kelsey has linked. That's a great starting point, as well as looking at just some suggested itineraries. We have a lot in France that, are all for love. So you can see some of our themed itineraries and then present those to your clients.
Awesome. That is great. That's so awesome to hear about your travel advisor. I think that's so powerful to know that you don't have to be the expert in the destination. We can be
Mhm.
that for you.
Exactly.
All right. Anna's asking, can you do tours only, or does it have to be part of a bigger booking with hotels and airfare included as
That
well?
Yes, that's an amazing question. So we can sell tours only. And to make it easy for everyone, here are the three things that we do not sell on their own. Airfare, unfortunately, the airlines, they've got a monopoly over it, so we do not sell airfare on their own. We do not sell rail on its own or car rental. So every other service, if they're just looking for a transfer or they just want tours, that's no problem. We can absolutely provide those services for your clients. A lot of times, just so everyone knows, we don't really sell Airbnb or Vrbo like property or hostels. That comes up a lot, especially for, a young honeymooning couple, again, on a budget, but that's okay. If they have an Airbnb booked, more power to them. We can still do transfers and tours based around their dates and their location.
Awesome. So it seems like the transfers, I know being a travel agent back in my former life, really thought of transfers as like the airport to the hotel and back again, but it seems like we can be much more nimble and, get them out to a villa in Tuscany or, someplace more off the beaten path as well.
Absolutely. We do those custom transfers. Our transfers continue to grow. Whether it's to a train station, a villa, like I said, I do specialize in Italy, and a lot of people are getting married actually in destination in Italy. So we do need to get them transfers to and from villas, for example, that are in the countryside, which we can provide. Absolutely.
Very cool. Yeah, everybody's saying this is great. That's what I'm looking for. Taking a group for 12 days and need some help with the sightseeing tour component. So awesome. We can definitely step
Absolutely.
in and help there. Yeah. There's another question about transfers to and from a cruise port, and I think I know the answer.
Yes, we absolutely do that. Rome, the Civitavecchia docks, I book that probably once a day. It seems everyone's going on a cruise out of Rome or Greece. So just let your Europe specialists know what the date is and then the time, and we can go ahead. We have day and night transfers. So basically our transfers are almost 24/7, where no matter what time the flight or the cruise leaves, we'll get them there on time, and we'll have a lot of open communication between the driver and transfer company and your clients.
That's great. Now, I'm glad you brought up Rome as well, because I know the cruise port in Rome is actually pretty far away from the city center, right? So I think that's
Yes.
a great kind of thing to make sure clients know that maybe they want to book in like a pre or post so that they can actually see a bit more of Rome. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That is very common. I was working on one earlier today where clients are coming in a few days early and they're getting to go see Rome before it leaves. And it is about almost a 2-hour drive from the city center of Rome to the Civitavecchia docks. So I highly recommend, even if it's just a night or two, again, we have this wonderful tour. It's called Rome in One Day, where they do the Colosseum, Palatine Hill Forum in the morning, and then all of the Vatican museums in the afternoon. And it's only about a 5 or 6 hour tour. It's not all day, but even if you do have that 1 or 2 nights, you can experience some really amazing tours in whatever city that you're in.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. Italy is high on my list. I've been, but it was like 15 years ago. Yeah, so I'm overdue. All right, I'll give
Exactly.
it a couple more minutes. We haven't had any more questions come through, just a lot of thank yous and hellos, which we always love to hear. So
That's awesome.
we'll hang around. Can't wait to book with you guys. That's what we like to hear. Thank you, Teresa. All right. Yeah, I think we answered everyone's burning questions about all things honeymoons in Europe. So thank you so much, Sarah. This
Wonderful.
was some wonderful insights and information. I'm really excited to book my own honeymoon. Might be picking your brain
Absolutely.
some more.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming along today. I know it is busy season. We really appreciate you taking the time to learn more all about us at Europe Express. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone.